at the moment, I guess I'm not taking my day too seriously. Right now it's 2:43 p.m. and I just, got back from being up downstairs doing the dishes, and I had this particular song that was stuck in my head. Now, a lot of people know that I'm a lover of music. I grew up listening to music all my life, right? And I would say one of the first artists I remember listening to was Nat King Cole. Okay, and of course I branched on to other type music. And I think some people think that I have a different personality because I am open to listening to different kinds of music. I will tell you, music is a great therapy to use in all kinds of trauma. But throughout my life, I have used music as a way of pacifying myself, keeping myself company, entertaining myself, whatever. Okay? And music to me is something I felt as though I can't live without. Okay? Most of the time I do listen to music. Right now I'm into that, listening to like this techno type music. But, I grew up listening to all kinds. Okay? Nat Cole had a song called Nature Boy when I was growing up. Actually, the song came out in the 1940s, the late 1940s. It's one of the songs that Nat King Cole got recognized by, among his other beautiful songs that he recorded. But I think what I was focusing on today was the lyrics of that song. Now, of course, the song is very vague when it comes to the kind of love that Nature Boy is talking about and how he is, telling his tale, or the greatest thing that you'll ever learn is to love and be learned and loved in return, is basically what he's saying. Is he talking about platonic love? Is he talking about romantic love? I don't know. It never really goes into it, okay? But I would say when it comes to me, that is something that applies in everything. Meaning, like, love to me is a very rare thing, something that cannot really be expected on the hell realm, in the hell realm, right? Because we know that people have children that they should love, but sometimes they exploit them for financial reasons. Even if it's something as simple as having children so that you can get more food stamps. Even if it's something really simple like having a child so that you can get like cash aid assistance, okay? People have kids for all kinds of reasons, and sometimes those reasons have nothing to do with love, okay? And I think love to me is something that I value and I treasure, and I do believe it's sacred. And I do believe love for your family, your kin, the people that you have closest to you, is essential for having a good balance of family work, balance of just feeling the sense of fulfillment, okay, within a family dynamic. Now, one of the reasons why I was so upset when I found out that my family was involved in my work life is because it opens up the opportunity to exploit other people. Okay, now some other people have their own ethics, their own morals, their own beliefs. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why I got really angry when I started putting two and two together. Like my sister was involved in this, that my ex-husband involved in it. This, what bothered me so much is not only is the issue illegal, okay, but it goes against all of my views of what a family principle and what a family dynamic should be. Okay, I don't believe in mixing work and family for that very reason. So when I realized that this whole thing was like some sort of mixture of people that, in my personal life, I make a point to keep those sort of things separate. If, of course, I had that control. Okay, I don't like the idea of mixing family and business for that reason. That reason right there, the fear of exploitation, somebody taking power or feeling as though they have control over something that is that important, the abuses that occur in family businesses. Now, if you might be listening to this video and thinking, okay, well, I have a family business, that's not happening to me, and that's good for you, okay? But unfortunately, not everybody is so lucky. Okay, but if I had control over the issue, if I could have wound back time and made it known, how I feel about these sort of things intersecting, and I could have prevented this, like my sister having this control and people thinking it was okay for her to do this sort of stuff. My mother and her making fun of me when I was younger, when I had to go to work the next day, and obviously someone who knew very little about work ethics. Why would I invite somebody with that sort of mentality into my work life? Okay, so my point is that, I believe in having the most purest form of love for people that are close to me. And for people that I do show love to, I want it to be very clear that there is no doubt in my mind, there should be no doubt in their mind, okay, that my love for them is pure. Meaning that's one of the reasons why I don't like family businesses, because I don't ever, like, for example, I want my son to know that I love my son. Regardless of what he makes, regardless of what he does, whatever title he has, he knows that I'm always going to be his mother, and I'm always going to love him regardless. That's unconditional love. I personally think for a person to feel complete in life, they need to know that they are unconditionally loved. I love my son unconditionally. Okay? And I don't ever want to create complex issues like, let's throw, this into it, or let's throw the limelight into it, or let's let other people involved in it. It's like, you know what? I felt like this whole issue thing was just so overwhelming and threw me into a situation that was just like, oh my God. It defiled everything that I believed and upheld as sacred. That's my choice. You know what I mean? It's my choice not to merge those things together. Okay? So yeah, I am somebody who, I understand that I don't believe that my views are unrealistic. I don't think they are at all. Okay? It's unrealistic to believe that that kind of love is common enough to where, people are mostly happy and satisfied in their family dynamics, whether that be their siblings, their children, their mother, their husband, whatever, okay? I know abuse happens. Abuse is extremely common, okay? It's extremely common, and I understand that. And so I do everything in my life to try to, reduce the chances of being abused or having to be put in situations where I'm forced to see people show their true colors. Okay, like my sister, my so-called sister, my adoptive sister. It's not even my sister really, but she's my sister. And then my adoptive mother, is coming in, acting like they had some sort of opinion that should have mattered. It shouldn't have mattered. Okay, no offense, but my mother was one of the most ignorant people that walked the face of this earth. Okay, and everything about it showed it. I was thinking today too about one of the conversations that my dad had when I was younger, and my dad used to drill this in my head, okay, and we used to make fun of my dad for saying it so many times. He's like, Maria, in this world, you do not have friends. You do not have friends. Like, he wanted me to understand, do not trust a single person, ever. And I said, Dad, that's not true. I said, you have Mom. And I remember him saying, Mom might be my wife, but she is not my friend. And I didn't understand what he meant when he said that. Okay? I don't know, but I'm starting to wonder now, like, was my parents' marriage an arrangement? Was this some sort of kingdom spouse bullshit that my parents did? I mean, I'm wondering, what happened? You know what I mean? I'm wondering, like, how bad and how screwed up was this whole situation? You know what I mean? It just seems like nobody trusted anybody. My dad didn't trust my mother. To hear my father say something about that, like about my mom like that, to a little kid, or regardless of how old I was, I think I was I was like a teenager, okay? But still, that was something that kind of hurt me, because it was like, well, then what are you telling me about my family? You know what I mean? What are you telling me about my family? You mean Mom's not trustworthy? Apparently not. My mom basically sold my ass out and tried to, like, sit here and defame me and all this other shit. You know what I mean? And she was probably doing the same thing to my dad. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong to be somebody who wants to preserve things, to make things important, to believe that love is important. It is important. Okay, it is rare. I am not naive to think that the majority of people even have a concept of what that is. Okay, but I know in my life, I make sure that there is no confusion about whether I love a person for who they are or what I'm going to give, because I don't go into things like that. I don't use people for shit. Okay? Which is one of the rare things about me. This is one of the things that puts me apart. And it blows people's minds, right? Well, how come? Because you know what? I have been abused so many times in my life. The only thing I care about is love. And if there is no love in this life, then I'm fine being by myself. Thank you very much. I'm realistic enough, to understand that. Okay? So, and because I am a realist, okay, which most people would say that she's pretty real, I stay on my own, okay? But one thing I was thinking about is the fact that, the sad part is that nobody has that kind of trust. And it's always like, there's so much backward, thinking, okay? I personally think it's backwards to the family business type thing. To me, is backwards, okay? Now, let's just say, for example, I came up with an idea, and now my son's already older or something, and I have some idea and I want to go into business with my son, okay? This is an example, okay? Yeah, I would say, okay, why? Because my son already knows I'm not somebody who, I'm not ever interested in exploiting him, okay? That's, it's important that somebody knows that. That, I don't want to ever be into something to throw you under the bus, okay? Because very few people can say that anybody loves them in this world. Very few, for sure, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, you do not want to have to put that to the test. Okay, I'm just saying, okay? Because I know what it's like for people to plow through my life, and I know my dad knew pain of people plowing through his life. He even told me that his wife was just his wife and not his friend. Okay? So the more I think about this issue, I can tell you there's no happy thoughts behind any of it. None of it. You know what I mean? So this is one of the reasons why I deal with all these mental issues. To me, it's like, it's disgusting to me. The whole thing. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and post a link to that song. I think it's a very beautiful song. A few people have recorded it. I know David Bowie did his own version of it, and I think Lady Gaga also covered it. I'm not for sure, but it's a beautiful song, and I would encourage you to go ahead and listen to it. I'm gonna wrap up this video. I just wanted to share that thought with you. Thank you.